Okay, so we got the code that I showed on the bottom. So of course this plenum has to come off right here. Has 7 of these bolts that come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course these 2 guys have to come off of here. Then of course this part has to come off, which is that part there that needs to come off. Okay. And then what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this entire part out right here, which this is what it looks like when it's brand new. This is what the connections are going to look like, the top of it. Okay, of course they're going to give you everything that needs to go with it, which is this stuff. Okay. The truth of the matter is you need a 10 millimeter long socket to get into there. And you can see that bolt down there. And it just simply requires this to get it out. And that reaches right in there. As you can see, as it gets right into there. Hope you can see that, yeah. Okay, just make sure you don't strip your bolt because it's going to be tight when you're trying to take it out, okay? So anyhow, you get that out of there. Now the instruction says you want to take the negative off the battery and expect for 15 minutes you might get erratic readings from this new part. So it says drive around for 15 minutes until the computer learns the new part. Of course you can get your ratchet in here to fit like this. Okay, and that should fit right in there. Just like that. If this is helpful to somebody, that's great. If it isn't, that's cool too. But anyhow, here's the tube that we're talking about. And, it comes down to here. So once again, just so you know, all the tools that was required was a 10 millimeter, an 8 millimeter, both long and short socket, a long extension, maybe a 10 if you have to get in there, okay, a short wrench, and a screwdriver, and this guy here to pry off the throat that goes to the manifold, which lives right here, by the way, is what I'm talking about. There's supposed to be a seal in here, as you can see, that's supposed to live right here. So this is the sealer we want to sell you. I was on the road and I ran into a problem where it had coated, so I had to get some I don't know what you call it, but it's an air conditioning stuff that I used, and it was in a pinch, and I thought we were in a tough situation, so I used what I had to use to get the thing to seal up. Not everybody likes the way I do things, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Okay, once again, if this is helpful to anybody, this part here, okay, has to go to that part right there. Of course, you got challenges in the way. You have to get this through there. You have to kind of do it at an angle. And this moves very slightly when it's brand spanking new. The thing is, you've got to get this little rubber grommet thing up here. You want to be careful. This part, thing's like $1,500, but you want to put the thing in at an angle when you start putting it in. It's about the only way you're going to get in there. Take your time doing it. You don't want to bust anything. And of course, not that you don't have enough sense not to do this. Just remember, you got to do this guy here, and he's got to get plugged in, and this one's got to get plugged in. Then of course you got one over here you don't want to forget, so we'll plug that puppy in, lock it up, and then you're going to have this one down here to plug in. So we want to put in. We want to get this part in here next. This goes in here like that, of course. Okay, so that's how that fits, because you're going to have a little bottom down there. So that's how that goes back. Be sure to put your 4 bolts back into there. Then of course these are 10 millimeter, and I'm going to guess it took about 25 foot-pounds of pressure to get them out. So I'm going to say 25 foot-pounds of pressure to get them in there. But I can't warranty. I just try to use a little common sense when I don't have a book and such. I'm just trying to be helpful here. So I don't do this for a living, but it's the mechanics. They make what they make, right? And I'm sure they earn every dime they have, because this is hard work. But You know, it's like sometimes you got to be a doctor to be able to afford what these guys do. So, not that they're not worthy of their wages, but you know, if you don't want to pay it, you have to be able to do it yourself. So, this is why we all make these help each other videos here. Okay, and don't forget you got your tubes back here that have you got 3 tubes that got to be hooked up back here, and then back here on this, I would take a can you see this back here when it goes in there? I take like a rubber mallet and I'd pop that in there. Now, this is probably not the right thing to do, but what I do is I take some refrigeration tape and I wrap it around there. And what it seems to do, it seems to seal it and seem like the heat is able to withstand it. Okay, some of you might say that's the stupidest thing to do, but I've had nothing but luck with it so far, so I will continue to do it. It's an option. And of course, once you get all these tubes on here, okay, back there's 3 of them here, you want to go ahead and put the air mass sensor on here, and don't forget to plug this little guy in here and put this little guy in his harness and tighten these puppies up right here. And then we'll go put the terminal back on the battery. We'll drive around for 15 minutes, and at the same time we'll listen for a leak to see if I need to do any more sealing. But anyhow, you know, anybody who makes these videos, we don't do it because we're trying to be a know-it-all. I think we're actually doing it because hopefully we can help somebody else who maybe just can't afford the dealership rates, and they really want to do it themselves. And there's nothing wrong with a guy wanting to work on his own car. I mean, when I was 20 years old, I didn't know how to do a dang thing to a car, and it was always embarrassing that every time I go to a mechanic, I had a $400 or $500 bill. Anyhow, it sure served me all my life. I've kept a lot of mechanics out of my wallet, and I've had maybe 8 cars in my lifetime. So once again, we'll go ahead and stick the battery back on here. Tighten this thing up, of course, you know. It's not that you haven't done this before, I'm just trying to make the video complete. Okay, I don't hear any whistle or leaks in here, so it sounds good. I think we did it. Okay. Well, let's shut her down, take her for a ride, and see what she does.